Oh yeah, right. We have a TED Talk crap shot written.
Maybe I'll just eat some yogurt for lunch. Ooh.
I have some here.
Yeah, I think I have some too.
Actually, we've done a couple TED Talk crap shots.
I mean, we've done all the, like, TED Talks that get interrupted crap shots.
Yeah, well, no, we did the one with the mouse traps and the leaf blower. And then the mouthful of marshmallow peeps.
Yeah.
Hi, B.
All right.
Hello. Today on my TED Talk, whoop,
Today on my TED Talk, I'm going to be talking about my stomach's actually kind of upset. I wasn't sure if I had just had too much coffee or like I was having some sort of horrible anxiety moment when I was writing my stories. I think it's just that I've had a lot of coffee today. I think 3 cups before 11 a.m. was a mistake.
I just want to see. I want to see you come out on stage now at TED and be like,
Bitch, my stomach
"Did I?
hurts.
No. Just be like, did I have too rich of a breakfast or too much coffee this morning? Hi, welcome to my TED Talk.
Hi,
My
welcome
stomach
to my
hurts.
TED Talk on anxiety.
And stop local recording.
Yes.
Okay.
You could switch to tea. No. No.
Yeah.
No.
I'm sorry for that noise.
Yeah, we could do a crap shot about a TED Talk. Hello, and welcome to my TED Talk on
We have a
why I
couple
had too
scripted.
much coffee.
Let me see if I can find the script for it. I'm pretty sure that somewhere in here,
Oh, cold brew's so good.
TED Talk.
I mean, I do like tea, but tea's my wind-down caffeinated drink. Like, I tend to drink tea in the evening. I love coffee. I really do.
I came in at like mousetraps and leaf blower. I'm like, good. Is that another one we're doing soon?
No.
We did that.
Yeah, you play that improv game, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good.
I've never played that improv game.
Ah, beige.
Time.
You visited the factory of celestial seasonings? Cool.
Oh, hey Serge, are you leaving forever now?
Yeah.
Oh,
What?
wait.
No, not you, Siri.
That's something I don't know.
Hey Siri, are you leaving forever now? That's something I don't know. No, stop listening to me. Stop. Okay, Siri's not listening to me anymore. Okay, bye. Have a good trip.
Or when are you... I know you're leaving on vacation, but when are you coming back?
The 8th.
The 8th? Okay, well, have a great time.
We're
until
done.
Then.
Good.
Ciao.
Bye.
Safe travels.
Thank you. I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Cool.
Bye, Serge.
Don't worry.
Enjoy
Don't worry.
it.
He'll be back.
I will.
I'm sorry I ditched you for our poke walk last night.
That's okay. You're still a good friend.
Oh, thank you, Serge.
Ben, I'm so sorry.
What?
My Ben Swallows in the chat, and I'm not going to say it now, but the words that I said also tripped his phone's digital assistant.
Oh, I left that.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Alexa, play Despacito.
Also, this. Wait.
Are we still slightly off?
We
No,
are.
I just rotated you.
Okay.
Oh. Let's talk about all the news that wasn't fit to print, because that's not that kind of. We aren't that kind of publication.
Yeah. Oh, all right. I got at least a couple people's
Nice.
Amazon digital assistants.
Go like this. Oh.
Time marches ever
Oh, I'm
onwards.
getting. No, my stomach.
Welcome to 60 Minutes.
Welcome to My Guts Hurt.
It's only a slightly Dutch angle, a tad Flemish. Wow.
Becomes more Dutcher as time goes by.
But seriously, my stomach's actually really upset, so can we get through this so I can have as much time as possible before we start Dice Friends?
You could just leave.
Yeah,
we
can-
could,
Yeah.
but I,
No,
do have
seriously,
some, I have
just-
some stuff to discuss
Okay.
about our
Well,
stories.
you go first.
Okay, so like the first thing I did was the EVE Online, and I was a little reductive in the tactics.
One has to be when talking about EVE Online.
Yeah, like
If you to people who don't play it. I know some of you do, but many of you don't.
yeah, but what was I gonna say? Sorry, I got distracted because now my phone is buzzing again. Why did I take it off? I took it off Do Not Disturb because I'm not doing a Do Not Disturb thing, but Yeah, so what they did was they were like, well, they're going to get us, but what if we just wait? And while they just decided to wait like 3 or 4 days and then had some allies come in, because there's also these things that you can put when you're doing a hell camp that prevent ships from going to warp. There are these little like immobilizer beacons or what, I don't know what they're actually called. And so the idea being when you are in a hell camp situation, when you pop in, you can't warp away. And you just get blown to bits while you're like pulling out in like impulse, essentially, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, they basically waited for the hell camp, which is like apparently manned like 24 hours a day, but I figured spawn camping was indicative of that. And they just waited for people to get a little bored. Because, you know, 3 days of looking at a video game doing nothing sucks ass. And then some of their other ships and allies came in and destroyed the like immobilizers. And then they were just like popped in and pew. So it was actually pretty good. And not everybody got out because of scheduling conflicts, because not everybody was able to leave at like 9 p.m. on a Wednesday or something like that. But
people got shit to do, yo.
Yeah, Eve's like a second job. So, Gravity Well, says Sir Jack DB. So, anyhow, they definitely did a bunch of stuff. Like, it was fairly clever. Although they did get taunted on Reddit for just waiting.
I mean, sure.
Yeah.
You get taunted on Reddit for doing anything.
Yeah.
I like that CCP has... Is that CCP? Yeah.
Yeah.
They've made a policy of non-interference in these kind of things. Like when all sorts of sort of weird stuff is happening like this, when, you know, people are spawn camping each other and stuff. They're like, nope, it's all part of the game.
That's how it's played.
Paul's mic is quite hot, apparently.
Well,
It's getting hot in here. So turn down all your levels.
Who is on the LRR account?
I don't know. It's the same volume as all the other ones.
It's a mystery.
James, I assume?
Heather is on a computer that's logged in.
Oh, it could be
Alex.
Heather.
It could be Alex. I saw him enter the moon base, but I didn't see him leave.
All right. All right. Was there? Did you want to talk about your other story there, Kathleen?
Yeah. The other one is WoW. All of
Wow.
those bugs I talked about were real. There's a really good Reddit post that just like collects all of like basically the things that people have been reporting as issues. As opposed, like, it gets down to like some specific types of like or classes, like their shoes don't work, right? Like it's very weird. But
yeah, for somehow like there was a number that was tied to their
don't
shoes.
work.
Yeah.
well, it's just like it's got all these weird knock-on effects. Because what they did is the last time they squished the numbers in WoW, they went in and did it manually. Like, they were like, all right, so if we're going to reduce this by a factor of 10, it's not as simple as just, like, taking off a 0. Because you also, like, there's other things that you need to, like, you know, this does a, you know, this percentage of damage and, like, right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So last time they did it all manually, but WoW was huge, and there's, like, 250,000, like, items or something in the game. So they're like, what if we just figure out how to, like, turn a knob and it scales everything automatically? But that changed a lot of numbers all at once, and now they're going through and like changing one number has like changed something. So like this 8-year-old bug that was probably always there but wasn't manifesting is now there. So this like they're like, oh yeah, we'll get this fixed, but like it's been 11 days and there's still a lot of problems with WoW.
Yeah.
And they've been looking at it and they're like, they assumed that there was something wrong with their calculations, and they've been looking at it and it's like, no, it's all like everything should be okay, but it's not. We don't know why.
So it's
250,000 things.
It's definitely Alex, by the way.
yeah. So
Only 2 people in loading ready run whatever type PogChamp. And one of them,
I don't get that
one
reference.
of them's on a ferry. It's just an emote. It's an emote for, oh, look at that. It's just like an expression of like, it's a hype emote.
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is so because last time they were like, well, we had to do this all by hand and it sucked a lot. And turns out they're also still probably going to have to do it all by hand this time, and it's going to suck a lot. So hopefully WoW gets its stuff sorted out.
Figure your stuff out, WoW.
I mean, like, I have a lot of sympathy for them because they did not mean to break their game in such an amazing way. And it's such a thorough way, honestly.
Thorough.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to take off and eat some soothing foods?
Yeah, I do, actually.
Sounds good.
Can you mute my microphone, Paul? Goodbye. Well, I'll get picked up on your microphone.
You waited until I had muted it.
Well, your stomach may be
standing.
upset, but your timing's not off.
I'm literally beside another microphone. People will be able to hear me say goodbye.
All right.
Oh,
So yes, other stories. The other stories we talked about.
So yeah, there's a Destiny Grimoire book. It says Volume 1. They're calling it the Grimoire Volume 1, but apparently it's actually totally unclear what's in it. Like, it might have stuff from Destiny 2 as well. The Grimoire cards only existed in Destiny 1, but...
Is it, like, it's more than just the cards printed, though, right? Like, it's...
I don't know. They haven't really made that clear. Oops, sorry.
It reminds me of, like, in like, Warhammer 40K, you have, like, the Codex books, which are, like, the army books. But, like, the actual stuff, the actual, what they would call crunch in the books, as in, like, the numbers for all your armies and stuff, is only about half the book. The rest of it is, like, background info, like letter from some guy to some other guy about
That's the
this
stuff.
thing.
That's the stuff I'm into.
Yeah. And so it sounds like this Grimoire thing is just all of that. It's just all of those pieces.
It's just the lore from the game. So Destiny 2, there's no Grimoire cards in the game, and there's
Fluff. Yes.
There's
the crunch versus the fluff.
Yes, there's less lore overall, less readable lore, but it's what is there is in the game. So like you get like an exotic gun, and then you can look at the lore tab, and it goes, whoosh, and there's a little, essentially what would have been a Grimoire card in Destiny 1, but it's right there.
This gun was owned by Dave, who liked guns. And he named it the shooter guy.
I mean, they're not all winners.
The shooter gun.
Yeah. And then the other story I did was, this Fortnite data, it was ludicrous. Fortnite is free, and yet has made over $1 billion from in-app purchases.
And it's not even, it's all cosmetics too. Like it's not, they haven't done pay to win as far as I know. They haven't done any actual...
No. And so, it was this thing of...
and of course, it's all Loot Crate based. Too.
Yeah, the data they were looking at, right, was like in-app purchases, Loot Crate style stuff overall is like this massive industry trend upwards. But if you eliminate Fortnite in its entirety, there's actually a year-on-year decline. Now, the decline is only 6%, so it's not like it's a dive.
Right.
But if you eliminate just Fortnite, it's actually starting to trend downwards. And what they're saying is that Fortnite is, generally when a game becomes profitable, it's not explicitly, like on a person-to-person basis, someone's going to spend their money on one game rather than another game. But generally speaking, one game being successful is not to the direct detriment of other games.
Right, because usually games, before this sort of era of these really popular multiplayer games, games would have like their lifespan, right, and kind of go away. But now, not so much.
Yeah, but what Super Data is saying is that Fortnite, the spending in Fortnite is actually like actively harming other games, which is.
Well, it's
$1 billion.
Yeah, I mean, apparently it has like there are lots of people playing it who who aren't being taken from other games to play it. So it's like new customers, which is obviously good.
Yeah.
But when it's so big, obviously, and you can just look at if you look at like Twitch streaming or whatever, the number of people who were Destiny players or PUBG players or Dota or whatever, you know, really popular streamers that have switched over to playing Fortnite.
Yeah.
It's pretty clear that I like that in this article about a thing, there's interviews with EA and Blizzard reps who are sort of, oh yes, yeah, we yeah, oh yeah, we like Fortnite's great. It makes the whole industry better. Yes. Yeah, of course we like Fortnite. Sort of through gritted teeth. But
so other stories, WarioWare Gold for the 3DS. It's coming to the 3DS, and there's a mode called Wario's Amiibo Sketch. And so you go to Wario's studio, and he asks you to give him something to draw.
yeah,
And then you tap an amiibo on it, and then Wario does a shitty drawing of
like
that character.
like an MS Paint drawing.
Yeah.
And apparently, like all whatever 150 amiibos are like in it. Like so they can draw anything. Of course, the one drawing that he does that's really really good, is the
Wario
the
one.
Wario. If you tap the Wario one, he does like a romance novel cover picture of himself.
Yeah.
But yes, I love that it did like these sort of like MS Paint style. In the article, it was like, this is exactly what you would expect from Wario.
Yep. NBA Live 19. You can now be a woman in the career mode.
And this is really interesting. So NBA Live 2018 had WNBA teams in it.
Yeah.
But they were it was sort of like I think you could only play them in like quick games, like in like pickup games. You couldn't actually like play the campaign with them.
Yeah.
So they have now your character can be female, and it can you can like, and they have however many hundreds of different, you know, hairstyle and body style and stuff options. You can scan your face, which I guess you could have done before.
You could have done before, but it would have been
looked
on a masculine body.
weird.
So, yeah.
The part that's a little weird is that because of how the game is set up, you're playing like it's set up so that you do sort of co-ed, which doesn't actually exist in real life. But but because
it's a video game, so.
But in these games, but you know, in these games, because they're very sort of stats driven, right? They try to sort of emulate the real thing, and so you have the stats for the male players and the female players are the same, including like size and stuff. So like the whatever female point guards are between like 6'4" and 7'2" and stuff, which is a little weird.
Yeah.
But
the small problem with NBA Live is that nobody cares about NBA Live because NBA 2K exists.
Ouch. So yeah, it's a tricky question about like whether you should go for trying to make it accurate to actual like WNBA, NBA stuff, or whether it's more interesting and enjoyable to sort of abstract that aspect of it.
I think it's more interesting to do whatever you want because it's a video game.
Yeah, but I mean from the
Yeah.
you know from the sort of simulation part aspect of it.
Yeah. The so we've talked about achievement spam games on Steam.
Sorry, just people being like, "Hey, tall girls exist. I'm over 6 foot." Sorry, are you over 7 feet though? And yes, there are women
Yes.
over 7 feet.
Yeah. It's
Not very common though.
It's atypical, yeah.
And obviously not that common for men either, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying women tend to be shorter, right? Obviously, even basketball playing women tend to be shorter. And
I assume if
Guys get
a woman is over
huge.
7 feet, then basketball scouts are just like, You.
Anyway, sorry.
Okay, Little Adventure on the Prairie was ported to PS4 and Steam, and it's not great, but it sells really well, or it has been selling really well because it has easy trophies.
And
So now achievement spam games on PS4 and Vita.
yeah, and what I so the thing I kind of like about this is, so they for one thing, it's on PS4 and Vita, and also like crossplay. So when you buy it on either system, there's a full set of trophies for the Vita version and for the PS4 version, so you can double up on your trophies, right? But the interesting the part about this thing I kind of like is that the company that's put this out, it's like a little game development company, and they're working on another game, like a legit game, theoretically. I mean, we don't really know what it is, but they have been working on a big game that they're very excited about and proud of, and they ran out of money on it, as happens. And so this is, and so they're like, hey, well, let's make this other game. We'll spend like 2 weeks porting this thing, load it up with achievements so that everyone buys it, even though it's not that good a game because we spent 2 weeks porting it. And we'll sell that and then use the money to fund our real game that we want to make. So I like this idea of like, it's almost like they're doing a Kickstarter, and the Kickstarter reward is you get a bunch of PlayStation achievement points.
The quote is everything was going great until we had some money issues. Then a friend of mine suggested to release the game on PS4 and Vita and add an easy platinum to it with a cheap price. This way a lot of people buy it and we would get the funding we need for our next game. Okay.
So, I mean, obviously the sort of achievement spamming type games are not great. At least in the article they talked about, at least this isn't one of those games that's like star, great game, whatever.
5-star, 1,000 top rated?
Yeah.
Yeah, but which was a real
like
game.
this game doesn't pretend to isn't trying to like trick people into buying it thinking it's a different thing or whatever.
Yeah. So, yeah, all right. And, those, in the coming up there, those GameCube controllers, the licensed controllers by PDP, I can't remember what it stands for, but yeah, they're Switch controllers that look like GameCube controllers, but they've made the sticks, they've made the right thumbstick the same as the left thumbstick, but if you want, you can pop it off and put on an old GameCube style C stick, which were terrible, but if you want, good for you.
It's what I like about this is that for the Wii, the Wii, and now the Switch, this thing where there's like this whole infrastructure of stuff set up so that these consoles can use the GameCube controller.
Can be as much like a GameCube as possible.
For Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
That for whatever reason, I'm not a big Smash Brothers player and I'm not a big GameCube player, but for whatever reason, apparently the GameCube controller was the greatest controller for Smash Brothers ever, and people want to just keep using that controller. They never want to change it. And so Nintendo has been coming out with all these consoles with crazy innovative controller designs, and people are like, but can it use my GameCube controller? And they're like, I guess we could make it like an adapter. Like, great. That's all I want.
Yeah.
I want my GameCube controller.
A Black Lotus, Magic the Gathering. A Black Lotus sold for $87,000.
That's a spicy Black Lotus.
Yeah. That's more than I thought they were worth, but apparently, here we are.
That's at the very, it's in the rarefied air of only the highest like baseball cards and stuff. I think in terms of like I think there's like one or there's like a couple baseball cards that have sold for more than that.
So this it was an alpha.
Yeah. So the big important part about this is this was an alpha Black Lotus.
Which
Unlimited Black Lotuses are, you know, a dime a dozen.
Well,
if a dime is
$8,000.
$8,000.
But yeah, alpha, we know
That's for one.
We know that there were only 1,100 of them ever made ever. Mm-hmm. So
which is that's the big point, is that unlike absolutely, I think pretty much every other Magic set, the print run for alpha is known.
Yeah.
For various reasons, Wizards doesn't release that information anymore.
And it was graded as a 9.5 by the collectible grading service Beckett. So nearly pristine, one of the best preserved copies in the world. There's only 1,100 of them, $87,000.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, of course, the Kotaku article has to explain why a Black Lotus is good mechanically.
Which doesn't actually... Like, the fact that this is the point where the fact that the Black Lotus is good as a card actually has very little impact on why the price is that high, right?
Yeah.
You know, there's all sorts of other reasons, but...
Card Kingdom's not a fan. In the chat, Card Kingdom doesn't like it. The Black Lotus, I mean. They say card's bad.
At 87,000, would you play that card? I mean, you would put it in some heavy sleeves.
Put an equivalent of a checklist card in the sleeve, and then be like, all right, here's a Black Lotus. Clunk.
Yes, here's my Black Lotus that is encased in lucite.
Yeah, there it is. Also correct. At this point, a Black Lotus sells for a lot because a Black Lotus sells for a lot.
It's true. It's true. The collector thing is an interesting, self-perpetuating. But there is the point though where, you know, they talk about with collecting stuff, something like Magic cards especially. There's this idea, you know, this fear in the back of people's minds that, like, in some storeroom, the back of somebody's attic somewhere, they're gonna find a crate of alpha or unlimited or something, which will tank the value for all those cards. So which is why the fact that they know exactly how many were printed, so it doesn't matter how many are available on the market right now.
Yeah.
We know, you know, they know definitively that there will never be more than that number in circulation.
Yeah.
And presumably there's much, much less than that number in circulation. And so, unlike most Magic sets, I don't know if they know the numbers on beta, but unlike Unlimited or Revised or whatever, they know how many of these that were printed, and so there's a little bit more security there, as much as there is for any weird collectible.
Pardon me.
Any Black Lotuses that you've seen people play on stream here in the office, definitely collector's edition.
Yeah.
That being said, a collector's edition Black Lotus is still not cheap.
No. But that's why they allow them in Highlander, although their prices have shot up since they were acquired by the people that we know that have them. So, actually, I don't know if any Lotuses showed up during the Highlander finals, and if they did, I couldn't speak to those. Those could be, but I kind of doubt they would be.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like if I owned a $10,000 Black Lotus, then I would just get a several $100 Black Lotus to play with. But
I think I remember on one of our Highlander streams, I think Jeremy or somebody styled out with a Black Lotus, and people were like, "What?"
Yeah.
And various Moxon and stuff.
The cup came home to England in that the London Spitfire won the Overwatch League.
Woo!
So good for them. $1 million for the team.
Yeah, and it was a 2 out of 3 thing, and they didn't go to 3. They were all everything was all set up to do the third match, and they just did 2. That was it.
Yep.
So good job. Apparently, it was a fairly mercurial in terms of it went. They were sort of dominated, and then had some really bad losses and stuff, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was. So, and this is the first of the sort of big Overwatch League. Like Overwatch League has been going for a while, but this was a big. This was the first of something. I don't the new ladder or something. I don't know. Anyway,
I'm not sure.
this is one of the biggest, if not the biggest prize. That's
Oh,
been
right,
given
and they
out for
won on
Overwatch.
Kings Row, the London map. That's true, yeah. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to unplug real quick, and then I'll come back for subs, because I think we're on to subs now.
I believe so. Yes.
Okay, one moment.
Oh, also, there's a new Labo. There's a new Labo kit coming out for for the Nintendo, the Labo cardboard stuff, and so legit, it looks super cool, right? Like it's all about control stuff. It's called the vehicle kit. So there's a steering wheel. And there's a flight stick, and then and then there's a submarine control thing, which for some reason the idea of a Labo submarine control, which obviously because it's Labo is made out of cardboard, struck me as being very silly, because no matter how creatively you're folding your cardboard, I feel like it would not be a great material to make a submarine out of, for various reasons. You hear about Hasbro's CEO saying everybody wants Dungeons and Dragons in esport? Yeah, I heard about that, and I don't know what that means. Like, even like if you take the esports, like the E part out of it, like Dungeons and Dragons has been around for what, 30 years? I don't know. However long Dungeons and Dragons has existed for, and it hasn't been like the idea of sort of doing it competitively. 40 plus, yeah. Like the idea, even just like not forgetting the esports aspect, which adds a whole additional level of complication, but just the idea of playing Dungeons and Dragons competitively is confused. Like I guess you could do sort of points for different, like there's things that they do at like conventions where the groups run through the same scenario over and over, like different groups run through the same scenario and you get points for how far you get. But I feel like that would be pretty hard to judge. D&D rather, yeah, the Tomb of Horrors, yeah, like you can do competitive D&D in a certain way, but it's not very, I guess you can't, there's no like objective way of doing things, right? And if there was, and it only really works because it's sort of a friendly, fun thing, right? Like if you were doing it, if there was like serious, if it was like serious, as in there was like serious money on the line, and people were like, doing serious preparation for it and practicing, whatever that means, for it, I don't think it would work, right? Like, anyway. Yeah, like there has been competitive D&D, but I don't think it works in a real competitive environment. It can be just sort of in a fun pick-up-y kind of environment.
I'm going to plug the headphones back in now. Or, I'm warning to headphones, I'm plugging the mic back in now. So apparently, a couple different aspects to that is the quote was taken out of context.
Oh, what was the context?
And we were talking about Arena, Magic Arena being an esport, and then talked about D&D streaming.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, and the quote was massaged.
It's weird because everybody's response to that quote was, why is he talking about D&D instead of Magic Arena?
Yes.
So, that just makes it kind of dumb.
Yeah, they were talking about MTG, and he said he'd like to see more tabletop games as esports.
And people took that as D&D.
And then was talking about like D&D streaming, like Critical Role or Dice Friends tonight at 4:30 Pacific. And yeah. Of course, I tweeted about that and being like, I'm positive that they either meant some sort of game with the D&D IP that could be an esport, or just non-competitive streaming like they're doing now, and he just used esport as a term for streaming. Because I don't think competitive D&D would work, and someone was like, actually, competitive D&D exists.
Yeah, I mean that's what we were just talking about.
And I hadn't heard about it. It's like you're timed on how quickly and how many resources you use, and it's like that's cool. That's not why I play D&D, but hey, neat.
And it's also like that works in the context of like a convention, or when you're sort of doing it for fun. But if there was serious money on the line and serious stuff like that, where it really mattered to get things correct in every way, there's no way it would work. So, anyway.
Sorry.
But Magic as an online, as an esport, I mean, obviously it is already that, but it could be more so, which would be fun. Or even as a broadcast, actual, like, tabletop Magic isn't an esport. That's just, it's just a being broadcast on the internet.
Yeah, it's a game.
Game or sport, depending on how you define those things.
Yeah. The term esport gets used for like anything that was like a.
It's a nerdy sport.
Yeah. Anything that doesn't involve running and jumping and throwing balls around.
Yes, like chess.
Yeah.
The original esport.
Yes, exactly.
People are silly. All right, let's welcome some subs.
Yeah, let's do it.
Starting with the Bob58, who is here for 16 months.
Doom Sponge. A brand new sub. Welcome, Doom Sponge.
Mars is dead. For 3 months, no Mars.
Dog Trainer 89 with another brand new sub. Welcome to the channel.
Reneko for 40 months. How many points do I have? Let's check.
Let's check. Jedi Master Zithel with a 15-month resub. Oh yeah, I should click this button. Z2, isn't it?
Choristi for 39 months.
KDZ00 with a 16-month resub. Welcome back.
Growlemin for 51 months.
Woodenhead with a 20-month resub. Welcome back.
Bronzefinger for 55 months. Welcome back.
Wheelie with a 16-month resub. Welcome back, Wheelie.
Eldrazi Trainer for 7 months. That is a tough job.
Hawkwreck with an 11-month resub. Nearly a whole year with the Lursman. Thank you all for being wonderful, and here's to many more months in the future. Thank you.
Wikisum for 6 months. Woo! Love you, Lur. And we love you.
Sarah Saranday with a 42-month resub. Please insert clever hitchhiker reference here because I'm too tired to come up with something clever. Vogon poetry.
count 0 for a full year. 1 year hype. It's time to check les points.
Check les points. Zafari Man, 18-month resub. Yay! 18 months. Yeah.
Malakorath for 29 months. She always felt a sense of unease as she dreamed of floating on the endless ocean. But it wasn't the water or the waves that caused that unease. After all, she grew up on the ocean, but she knew better than her house, her bed.
Sublets. Prompthin supplications? I couldn't. Sorry.
Pennywise 430. It's a new subscriber.
Welcome to the channel, both of you. Bud Av with a 17-month resub. Welcome back.
Fumakataro. For some months.
Jedi Transmit, 13-month resub. Loving the panelists. Thank you. I'll pass that on to Kathleen.
CGS Guy 2 for 22 months. Always love to hear more Eve news without ever having to play it. Best way.
Simon Ark, 7-month resub. Welcome back.
Asokska, maybe. For 4 months. Is the Snorsh Lady completely gone? Also 4 months.
Oh, Snorsh Lady. Swampert, 11711 with a brand new sub. I also evolved a Swampert recently.
Pinunu is a new sub.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Saya Orgaya with 7-month resub with apologies for whoever has to pronounce my username. Y'all are great.
We've had worse.
I think I got it okay. Orgaya?
I am Morthos for 9 months. Because time is a flat circle, I look forward to again discovering some new lure on The Escapist. I would also like my old 2008 waistline back.
Fair. Kavina with 22-month resub. Checkpoint. My favorite and only source of news that makes me smile. Thank you for your hard and hilarious work. Also, I hope Kathleen's tongue feels better soon. Me too.
Underhill 33 for 22 months. 33 for 22.
No, I evolved it into a Swampert in Vatari. And thanks for 651 bits, W Nevek, Earthen1, E-Block, The Maricat, and Foxmar 320. Thank you so much. So,
Draw bits.
had a couple questions there about the Escapist. Yeah, so Russ Pitts, who was the editor-in-chief of The Escapist when we were there originally, in fact, is the person who hired us to do Unskippable way back in the day, and then left in 2011. He's working with Enthusiast Gaming, who are based in Toronto. Yeah, they own Destructoid, I believe. And he is taking The Escapist back over to try and take it back to when it was good. And yeah, I'm going to be on a panel with him and Movie Bob and Yahtzee and someone from Enthusiast Gaming at PAX. We don't have any plans laid out to do anything with them at the moment. Also, because we're really busy.
Yeah.
Probably we got this RoadQuest thing that's like
which you may have
really
heard of, yeah.
slamming the editing pipeline. But
obviously, you know, with the panel and stuff, we have been in communication with Russ and stuff.
Bill the Cat. Yeah, a couple people were more than a couple people were disappointed by that. Well, with specific aspects of the essay that Russ posted. He has since clarified, and you can check out his Twitter. But what was the one? Anyway, I can't remember exactly what it was, but the TLDR was if you are excited for me taking over The Escapist because your politics of hate have been driven out of other places and you think that I will welcome you or that The Escapist will be your new home, you have made a mistake.
Yeah.
So just to be clear, yeah,
There's a longish interview that he did that was
he did
quite illuminating about stuff. But
yeah,
it's there's always a problem with Twitter is that you sort of it's hard to give any kind of nuanced discussion about anything. But anyway, like I said, we don't.
Also, he rehired Movie Bob, who's not. He's what I wouldn't call Movie Bob a centrist.
He's definitely has strong opinions about this.
Yeah, exactly. So,
so anyway, like we said, we don't have any current plans in terms of producing content for The Escapist, but obviously we have been in communication with Russ about stuff. Also, for those of you, if you haven't got the connection, if you saw Desert Bus 2 years ago, Desert Bus 10, Russ at the time was also the owner or runner of Flying Saucer Media, who was doing the Desert Bus documentary. So you may have seen him on camera a little bit.
The current state of that, by the way, if you're curious, is that we are still looking for distribution for it. We need to make a little update to it to like explain. Just put like a little, like literally like a minute of content in there, just to actually explain like how the whole streaming aspect functions. Because all of you know Desert Bus, but if someone seeing this and they don't know it, just a thing like, we stream it on a thing called Twitch, and people donate, and in exchange for those donations, we do challenges. That, the mechanical function of the broadcast didn't actually like come up in the thing. So we're going to add that in there, and get hopefully clearances for a couple of the music tracks and stuff. So that's still in procedure, and it turns out these things take time, and it sucks, and I wish that I had more news on that, but so.
All right, so that is the checking points, and Dice Friends is in just over an hour at 4:30, and remember that's on the D&D channel, twitch.tv/DND.
Yes, DND.
It will be hosted here on Loading Bay Run, but you won't get the
Delta
notification.
November Delta.
So,
we're going to host it here, but because we're just hosting, you don't get the notifier.
So if you want to get notified about that, you got to follow the D&D channel. But in any case, Dice Friends with episode 4 of Dragon's Orders will be broadcasting in just a little over an hour. So we should probably do that, get set up for that.
Yeah, I use the phonetic alphabet a lot, actually, on the phone, because Canadian zip codes go letter, number, letter, number, letter, number. And so they're also not called zip codes, but the point is it comes up a lot on the phone. So anyway.
That's it, I think.
You all seem to never really have a policy of hosting on this channel. Why do you do it for this D&D stream? Because it's us.
Yeah.
We host this one and we host the Magic thing.
I mean, it's true that it's a relatively new thing that we haven't, because in the past, we weren't broadcasting our own stuff to other people's channels, but it's sort of a special thing with how this was set up. So Dice Friends won't necessarily be on the D&D channel going forward.
So Dr. Hutch says, I mean, why doesn't D&D host you? So they did before. They hosted us when we played Dice Friends prior. But this is actually, they're actually contracting us to do this. So it goes on their channel.
Yeah.
They're actually paying us to do this. So, yeah.
All right. So thank you very much for watching. And we will see you in a little bit.
Yeah.
And of course, all the other good streaming content tomorrow, starting with some 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
First thing in the morning.
And then New Day Tuesday, Ben's playing Chasm.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's one more with some PUBG. And then I believe it's the last Fallout 2 on Talking Simulator.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Lots of cool stuff.
See you later.